Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is David Mancow and I'm a producer here at the Sasha Group. Today, I want to talk to you about producing some videos, specifically testimonial videos. A lot of times, brands and companies are wanting to make a testimonial video to just show off like how awesome you guys are. What are some of the proof points? And there's something about having the credibility of a client of yours or a customer really singing your praises or talking about your services and the products you offer, as opposed to coming from you. There's something great about that extra credibility from a third-party source. So you want to get that third-party person to talk about you in a really great way. You want to get it on video. How do we do that? When you're going into production, there are a whole lot of things to consider. So in today's Stork episode, I want to walk through how we at the Sasha Group kind of go through our process when we're producing a video, and hopefully for you guys to pick up some tips when you're producing a video and conducting an interview, and some things to think about and watch out for. Phase 1, pre-production. You know you have a subject that you want to interview and you want to talk to. I think a really important thing to start out with is, what is this video going to look like? Are our subject going to be talking direct to camera like I am right now? Are they going to be talking to somebody off screen? Different styles of interviews can invoke different types of things. This feels very direct. I am talking directly at you right now. We're having a conversation. Whereas this, it's very clear that I'm not really focusing on you, the audience, but there's a conversation happening, and you, the audience, are kind of watching in, listening to this conversation happening. How do you want this information be communicated? What's also really important about pre-production is you're making a bunch of decisions before the day of production. On production day, there's going to be so many things happening. A person might be coming late, you might not have the gear, the cameras have to have weird settings when you don't know what a shutter speed is or f-stop is, and you're needing to research all that type of stuff. There are a whole bunch of different variables that happen on production day. So pre-production is really designed to figure out what are all the questions you're supposed to ask, what are all the decisions that you need to make before the day of production. That way you can walk onto your interview set, you can walk onto wherever you're filming, and you already kind of know what you're going to be doing. And you're going to have a set plan that you can communicate to your team to help you execute the video that you're trying to produce. Another really important part about the pre-production aspect for a testimonial video is really knowing what questions are you going to ask. Who are you talking to? What did they do? What are the questions that are going to really invoke the most emotional sound bites, the golden nuggets, the gold coins out of an interview that's just going to make that video so much better? What's going to give you those sound bites to help give you credibility? Another really important part about the pre-production aspect is really researching your subject. Who are they? Get to know them. Go on their LinkedIn, research all about them, figure out what their story is. If it even helps, get on a call with them and do a pre-interview and talk about what you're hoping to get out of them. I think that's really, really great, and it also builds rapport with you and that subject. A lot of times people get nervous on camera. I'm kind of nervous on camera right now. I'm used to being behind the camera, and this is very awkward for me. That's why it's super important to have a pre-interview with your subject. It gives rapport and it helps them become comfortable in front of camera. The other part about pre-production is knowing what you're wanting to get out of your subject specifically. Is there a specific soundbite that you want them to say? Let them know this isn't a documentary. This is a testimonial video talking about your brand. I think it's totally okay if you want your subject to say something kind of specific, but in their own words. Tell me how great my product is. In your own words, I want to hear that. That's what we're trying to build the video for. We know that this is something to help with your brand, with your company, with your nonprofit. Let's hear about it, and we want to hear the glowing reviews from your interview subject. All right, so now we're on production day. The lights are set up, the microphone's set up, the camera's set up. You're here and your interview subject is here. Have them sit in the chair, run the microphone, and just have a conversation with them. This is going to start building rapport with them, but you're also able to figure out what your microphone levels are going to be. You don't want them to be super, super loud. You don't want them to be super, super soft. So getting that time to talk to your interview subject, and you can work on getting the levels, makes them feel comfortable, but it also makes sure that you're getting the best possible sound as you can. Now we get into the interview. At the top of the interview, it's really important to get their name, what they do, why are they relevant, and then also have them spell out their name as well. A basic introduction. It's going to be super important for your editor, especially the spelling out the name part. When you're interviewing, make sure that your subject repeats the question within their answer.
David, what's your favorite color?
Blue. When you're gonna be editing, you might not get Landon or your camera operator or your interviewer sound bites in there. So now you just have me saying blue out of context. Sometimes that can get really tricky for your interview subject, and it can also get tricky for you. But if you can manage to get the questions within your interview subject's answers, that's gonna be a really great soundbite that will help you in your edit. A trick around that is to ask your interview subject to finish the sentence. My favorite color is ... And then they'll say, my favorite color is red. My favorite color is green. Obviously, you're probably gonna be asking something a little bit more complex than that, but the idea of having them kind of state that question and having them know what question you're wanting them to answer will help in the post-production process as well. When you're having an interview, it's essentially a conversation, but you, the interviewer, is not the hero of this conversation. It's the person on the other side of the camera. What we like to do here at Sasha Group is after the person gives their answer, we like to give a second or two of silence and see if they say anything else. They might say something really great, and that moment of pause might feel a bit uncomfortable, and they're gonna feel uncomfortable too, and they're gonna probably be provoked to say some more things, give you more content, and that's what we're wanting to get right now. We're capturing content for you in your video. At the end of the day, it's really important to hear what the subject has to say. So at the end of the interview, I like to ask if there's anything else that they want to discuss. Generally, they might say no, but you never know what they're gonna say. They might give that really great golden nugget that you've been looking for. So the interview is actually over, but is it really? The gloves are off, but the cameras are still rolling. Even though we're not in the official interview time, let's just keep that camera rolling and let's keep that conversation going. A lot of times, people are nervous in front of the camera, and when they know that the interview is done, they might feel more relaxed and might say more things. And you're gonna wish that you had actually gotten that on film or on audio when they say that really amazing golden piece of information after the interview. So now you're in post-production, and this is where creativity really lives. You're finding your sound bites, you're getting the footage together, any sort of B-roll that you captured on the day, you might be splicing that in also. A really important part of this process with interview subjects and interview testimonials is getting a transcript. This way I have it in writing what was said, and it's easier to kind of like find it as opposed to scrubbing through a 10, 15, 20, 30 minute long interview for that specific soundbite. I know that's a lot of information I had. If you got lost with it, feel free to reach out to us at Sasha Group, and we're more than willing to help you out. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. Be well.